On the day the state surpassed 4,000 virus-related deaths, healthcare workers admit they measure the pandemic in days, not months.
For the first time, doctors invited WCCO to see what it's like inside Regions Hospital. Nearly 90 patients are there receiving care for COVID-19 right now. And Liz Collin found some of them feeling grateful for a good outcome.
There we go, that's my room.
It's where Sergio Choi has been confined for nearly a week on the 9th floor of Regions Hospital, 3 floors from the sickest COVID-19 patients in the ICU. Considered an immunosuppressed patient, the 43-year-old worried what contracting the virus could mean for him.
By the next weekend, the fever started setting in.
Near the end of last month, he found out.
And I started to feel like I couldn't breathe as well. That was what scared me. Honestly, I didn't want to come into the hospital, to be honest with you, because I was afraid. You know, you hear people dying here with COVID.
But when his oxygen levels dropped below 90%, Choi knew it was time. One of the lucky ones, remdesivir, helped to turn his condition around.
All of my patients are COVID positive patients. They are all on a ventilator. They're all on breathing machines and life support.
Dr. Julie Schaefer completed her residency at the University of Minnesota last year.
It's not how I expected to start my career in medicine in the middle of a pandemic. For our COVID patients, all of their IV medications and IV drips are outside of the room.
In some cases, she's the one saying a final goodbye to families over video calls.
They're some of the sickest patients I have ever cared for.
Forced to deal with an unexpected emotional burden with no visitors allowed.
We know that there is purpose and there's meaning behind the work, and that is what is carrying us, but we're tired and we're feeling it.
You can tell they're just kind of pulling themselves to hang in there and to stay positive.
Choi seemed more concerned with the long-haul healthcare workers are in than what he's been through, believing it's time for the same show of support we saw this spring as difficult days drag on.
It slowly faded away, but COVID hasn't faded away.
In St. Paul, Liz Collin, WCCO 4 News.
A little background on the access that we had for this story. Liz had an asymptomatic case of COVID-19 and tested positive for antibodies, so she went into the hospital by herself while our photojournalist stayed outside. Liz will work from home for the next 2 weeks as a precaution.